did she just vomit, mate? And Cal's like, no, she just burped.
So you vomited all over the back seat.
All over me. So you went down the silver slide.
And apparently, it'll be like McFries with a McCoke. And I'm like, it's just a Coke. I think it's only natural that one wonders, how much weight can one man bear? And he goes, that's me. Human flaw, I guess. G'day and welcome back to another episode of A Lot to Talk About. This is episode 2 of the Bradles and Sissy podcast, which is our childhood nicknames. From what we've heard, we're the number one sibling podcast in the world. That may not be confirmed. But first week was a heap of fun. If you got the chance to watch week 1, it was a little bit more emotional, but I had a whole heap of fun and good laughs in there too, where we kind of recapped our childhood and spoke about why we're so close. For those of you who missed that and you're tuning into this episode here today, this is I hope you know this is me, Brad, the captain of the ship, the man in charge. My sister Shania.
G'day.
And we're excited to be here. This week will be a whole lot more lighthearted and humorous, I hope. If it's not, I thought it was fucking really funny, so maybe we've just got a different sense of humour. But we're basically going to roll through a bunch of like little segments and topics that we've come up with that we think will get you guys a bit of a laugh and be super relatable. You had an idea as a way to kick off the show.
Yes, so I've been trying to practice a little bit more mindfulness in my own life. And I've noticed a couple of little pods that I personally listen to introduce similar things like this, but I think we have our own take, which I think we say at the start of every pod. Oops, hit the mic. Start of every pod, one word to describe how we feel for the day. How, I guess, our week's been, our weekly roll-up, we can call that.
Yeah, I like it.
One thing we're grateful for, one thing we're looking forward to. Maybe just to kind of, recap our weeks.
Okay, let's go. I'll kick it off. One word to describe how I'm feeling today. Ecstatic. You like that one?
Yeah.
It's a good word. Roll up of my week. The week has been very busy. For those of you who don't know or maybe know, I am obviously pursuing a lot to talk about with everything that I've got, and I'm giving this so much time, attention and love because this means the world to me, this platform, and I want to build it into something really special on an Aussie and global scale. Basically, I want this to be a media company and to entertain, inspire and just connect with so many people around the world, and I hope we have the chance to do that. And to make sure that's the case, I've taken on a part-time job that I've been doing for a month, and that's been really busy in particular this week, selling some real estate development on the side.
That's a tough balance.
Greasy real estate agent, which is my former career. Shout out to all my mates that are real estate agents. You're all bloody lovely, you little grease balls. But it's so good to... I'm really grateful for that opportunity because whilst it's very stressful and it's super busy and it's been a hectic week, the 4 days I do that are affording me some real money to spend on marketing. And some of you may know that I sold my apartment, my first home, at the beginning of this year to pursue this dream, and I'm really throwing everything I've got and my whole life savings into this. So if I come unstuck, I want to make sure that I gave it 110% and I gave myself the best chance to chase my dream and do what I love for the rest of my life. So, that balance is tough, but it's rewarding for the show. So my week has just been ultimately really busy, but exciting at the same time. I got my PICC line out of my arm and finished my hospital in the home treatment on Tuesday, which was great. Got to run on Wednesday. I had 3 weeks off running and I had 10 days to get prepared for my next marathon, which is in 8 days time.
Crazy
and done a 15k this morning, which is a great feeling. A little bit tight in the chest. Legs are actually a little bit sore, which is a worry because I normally finish a 30k run and feel super sweet, but you're coming back from bleeding lungs and real battering of the body. And I think I've just learned that in the content game, you love and you look for an underdog story, and I'm lucky enough that I got one in myself. So that's the roll up of the week. One thing that I'm extremely grateful for is my health. I feel good. I'm back, and there's a bit of recovery to do, but like I said, really grateful that I get to do what I do for my cause and for this community. So I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do that. And I'm really looking forward to Saturday. Not tomorrow, this is recorded on a Friday, but Saturday the 16th of October, 42 for CF, my marathon event, which is, and it means the world to me, and to conquer another marathon in the name of cystic fibrosis, and to prove for so many of the CF community that follow me and connect with me and send me messages that their lives can be incredible too. That's purpose-driven work for me, and so I'm really looking forward to that event.
Wow. I don't know how I'm going to top that one. Okay, one word to describe how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling pretty chill. I've kind of had, so I'll go into my weekly, God, I keep hitting this microphone.
Yeah.
I guess my weekly roll up. So I've had a hectic week with my small business. It's been extremely busy, long nights, staying up, making the products, but also trying my best to keep active on my socials as well with that page, to, I guess, give people a reminder that I am just the solo employee, and so things do take time, especially with the huge influx of orders that I've had. So that's been tricky because I guess some people don't really understand that it's just me running the show, doing the, making the product. So that's kind of been a hard balance, and I felt a bit of pressure this week. But today I've kind of been able to just chill, make a heap of products, a bit more relaxed today. I guess that's kind of like my weekly roll up as well. That's literally all I've been doing. Have gone back to uni this week after the break, and honestly, I think I've done like all my classes but no classwork, so a little bit nervous to catch up on all of that.
Yeah.
But I guess that's kind of a pure example of how I feel about uni.
Yeah.
It's kind of my second option in life, but something that I'm still pursuing as best I can. Something I'm grateful for is, I know it's going to sound really, really silly to probably people listening, but I'm so thankful for this opportunity because I really love it.
Yeah, it's good fun, eh?
I think last week I was really nervous because I don't really...
You say that, but you killed it. You were so good last week. You spoke so well. You present so well on camera.
Thank you.
You really fucking put me to shame for all the time I've spent.
It's something that I think we get to have a bit of fun, something that we love, like we both love doing, but also just get to, I guess, share a bit of like our passions and stuff like that as well. So love that. Something I'm looking forward to. I'm actually so excited to go on my run tomorrow morning with Cal.
That's mad.
We've been going on little runs together, and I think it's really cool to have something that you both enjoy, being able to do with people you enjoy. So
100%.
Really keen for that.
So good. Let's get into this week then.
Let's go.
This week's pod is, like I said, a bunch of segments. It's stuff that basically I want to make just really fun and enjoyable for everyone listening, and stuff that you can relate to and engage with. So we've got like 7 topics in fact.
Okay.
The first one off the top is the weirdest DM you've ever received.
Oh, yeah, okay. Do you want me to hit it off?
Yeah, you kick it off.
Okay, cool. So, last pod I mentioned that I was a flight attendant for a couple of years, and all my flight attendant friends that listen to this, you will understand, and it's kind of normal when you're a flight attendant, but like when you're not, and when you get your first DM that says this, like you're kind of like, what the hell? Like this is like weird. You get these weirdos that like are looking for like sugar babies, whatever they're called, and they ask if they can buy a pair of your used airline stockings.
Yeah, used stocking fetish.
It's filthy, like it's gross, and I don't understand it. Like,
weird.
It's disgusting. But people actually pay good money for this, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know what gets them off, but it's gross, and that was the weirdest DM I've received.
So what's the most money that you made off it?
More than my virgin wage.
My one was a really unique one. I don't think anyone will have ever heard of this before. If you've heard of it, it's likely because this person has messaged you specifically. And I want to hear some commentary from anyone who listens or watches this and has had an experience with either this person or this kind of thing before. So last year, a bunch of me and my mates started getting these really weird messages on social. And it's like mainly a bunch of my run crew. And it was like, hey, Brad, how much do you weigh? From like this really random profile on Instagram. And you click on and it's a bunch of like dudes lying on the floor and people standing on top of them. Oh, right? And so weird. I'm going to go into and I'm going to read you through the conversation I've had with this person.
Oh, God.
And I want you to paint a picture in your mind.
No, thanks.
So on the 5th of July at 7:10 p.m, he sends another message. Hey man, how heavy are you? Second message, in kilograms. And I know what this guy's about, right? He'd messaged me on Facebook before. A bunch of my mates had messages, so I was kind of prepared. And so I started off with a little bit of banter. I said, hey bro, I'm 83 kilograms, but I'm just big boned. Doctors told me I've got a big brain. Was lighter when I was a baby though. How heavy is a polar bear? I was implying heavy enough to break the ice. We're in a conversation now. He goes, why the joke? And I go, life's better when you can have a laugh, bro. Big fan of the work you boys are doing. What inspired it all? And he goes, very true. So you viewed my page. And I go, actually, you reached out to a couple of my mates in the last year or so. So I've known about your work for a minute. He goes, if only your mates responded to me with a crying face. So what do you think inspired me? And I said, I think it's only natural that one wonders, how much weight can one man bear? And he goes, that's me. Human flaw, I guess. But none of these guys on Insta are me in the videos. And I love human flaw. So we're going to call him human flaw guy. Then I go, so there's a team of you, or are they just loyal supporters of the work? And he goes, they get paid from me, and I pay them to walk on me as well. And I said, it sounds like you've built a business.
Oh God.
Still progressing, looking for more participants, hence the message to you and your friends. I said, grateful for the thought, bro, but not my area of expertise. I'll just keep appreciating the good work from afar. He goes, I don't understand. You don't need to be an expert at it. You just participate and get paid. And I said, there's only so much time in a day, my friend. Too much on my plate at this point in time. Good luck in the continued recruitment drive. In case any of my mates are interested, I'll share the opportunity about what's the going pay rate. He goes, oh, that's a better response. I like to hear 500 an hour
God, sign me
up to 100 kilograms. So if you're over 100 kilos, like if you're a big bopper, then, you know, the pay rate's a little better, you know. It's like, they're like the
So you eat
upper
more food
class.
And you get more money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
I like it.
And he goes, and this can be done, and I said, can this be done virtually? Or do you undertake the work at a specific venue? And he said, how would it work virtually? Explain a little. And I said, like, do you send a video in and you pay pre or post receiving the video? And he goes, I thought you were talking about you and your mates walking on me. And I said, does that pay more, does it? And he goes, on me is 500 an hour. I'm 66 kilograms, so it pays the same. And I said, okay, thank you. I'll pass this on to a couple of my mates looking for a side hustle. And he said, let's hope you're being truthful. I really want new people with that little like care face with the love hearts. And I'm not going to say the account name at this point in time, right? Because what I'm actually thinking is if people find this interesting enough, let us know, and I might actually reach out to this guy to come on the show. Just for a little 5-minute segment. You know, he can stay anonymous. I just want him to explain the concept of the human flaw. So has anyone experienced anything like the human flaw before? If you go through the videos, you can basically see it's like a bunch of like dudes, normal looking Aussie dudes, lying on the floor. It'll show their weight. It'll show their mate's weight, and they stand on top of them and time how long they can deal with it for. My theory is this guy's got some sort of human suffocation fetish.
I don't know what it is, but it's weird.
It's weird.
And I'm sorry if you're listening, mate. You're just an odd being. Like, you do you.
But you do you. But come on and
Exactly.
explain. Shed some light. Maybe there's something to the theory of human flaw that we haven't quite grasped.
Yeah, I think it's just weird to say, like, human flaw, but not to actually say why you make a human flaw. Like, that's just odd.
But I'm all for you being you. So you come on the show and explain. If you want a 5-minute segment,
you make that money.
Yeah, if you want a 5-minute segment, come on the show and give us an idea.
Not even him though. Whoever, like, if you're
if you've experienced this.
if you're the one that's signing yourself up for this and you get $500 to stand on something.
Let us know your experience, like customer review. Like, give us a client review. I think that'd be cool. So that's the weirdest DM I've
let's
received.
move along from that, because that's put me in a weird position.
Topic number 2 is something that really gets on my nerves. It's words people say to sound fancy that really piss us off. And there's a few of them. I'm going to kick it off with one that really annoys me. And I kind of took the piss out of it on the last podcast, Blokes and Their Balls, with Jed, where I kind of said as a sign-off, au revoir. The one that really annoys me, though, is ciao. I hate when, like, a white dude who's never been to Italy, has no ancestry that ties back to the Italian regions of any kind, says ciao.
Yeah, I guess.
What are you trying to do here?
I feel like you're taking a dig because I've got a tattoo with French writing and I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. No, but I feel like when you work it into conversation, it's worse.
Okay.
It's like if you're if it's me, a 25-year-old white dude, standing with no Italian background whatsoever, standing in front of a girl and I'm trying to impress her and I go, well, anyways, ciao. I'm like, no,
weird.
it's so weird.
I'd be turned off.
Just
by
say
that.
bye, see ya, catch ya.
That's such a turn off as well. Like they're just trying too hard.
Yeah, it's trying too hard. Do you feel like you've got any that really annoy you?
Yes, so I feel so bad saying it, but
Rip in.
I have heard this particularly off a influencer, and I heard it and I just was like, I just kind of took a step back. I was like, that just doesn't work. Like I heard it straight away and I was like, I don't get it. Like I don't get why that has been worked into this sentence. They were talking about food and they were like, oh, the food's immaculate. And I was like, what do you mean by the food is immaculate? That
makes no sense.
Exactly. Like, is it like neat and tidy? Like that's what I associate.
I've never once heard someone describe food as neat and tidy.
And it's so weird because this person kept saying it over and over in like all of their posts.
So it wasn't a fuck up. It was a conscious decision.
And it's like on YouTube even, and it was like, it would come up with like the word on the screen as well. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know if I'm missing something, but it just doesn't mesh in that sentence.
Yeah,
I
get that.
I'm all for saying like, oh, you know, they've got an immaculate appearance, but it's like, when you're talking about food, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off because I'm like, when people try and make words work in a sentence, when they don't.
They don't. I've got a few that everyone on Insta has sent through.
Let's go.
A couple here. So Bronte said when people use please confirm / advise in a business setting,
oh my
it sounds
God,
smart but feels passive aggressive.
It's
because it's kind of passive aggressive, right? You're like, please confirm or please advise. It's kind of like,
I use advise.
Just fucking explain what you mean here.
Yeah, real estate days, I will.
Passive aggressive to a T, which is kind of you. Ruby says just using any large fancy words when it's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't know enough to throw them in there.
Yeah, it's like I feel like if you've got like a brain like a dictionary and you're just throwing those words in there to puzzle people, you're a bit of an arsehole.
I hate when people do it. So I notice this in my uni lectures. The teachers will say, like, even this word, still don't know what it means, but it's literally in like so many of my lectures. Pedagogy or something. Couldn't tell you what it means, but somehow it relates to education.
Sounds
so
like
much.
Tamagotchi. I don't know.
Oh my God. And I just never know what they actually mean by it. Yeah. So they need to drop it.
If anyone knows, send it in. Luke says, when someone says done instead of did.
Oh my God, I'm also guilty. Callum gets so angry at me and I say them instead of those. Or like vice versa. He gets so cranky.
Yeah, that's pretty poor on your behalf.
Yeah, I know.
My mate Kane, I thought this one was quite funny. He's walking a marathon a day for 50 days. He's now 26 days in. Shout out to Kane Rice on Instagram, CAINRICE_. Go follow him because he's a legend. He's doing it for charity. And he said, I hate when people ask how I'm feeling right now. I'm like, that's pretty funny. Obviously, shit. And you can see, like, you can visually see he's not doing well, but he's soldiering on. My mate Brent sent in one where people use celebrities who are known for another name, but they use, like, their first name to make out they're on, like, a first name basis. So it's kind of like a name drop, like an advanced name drop. So say, for example, I bump into The Rock in the street.
Oh, and you say like Dwayne.
And I'm like, oh, so sick to bump into Dwayne. Or like, so good to bump into DJ.
I think that just makes you look like a dick though.
Yeah, it does. It makes you look like a dick. I thought his example was quite crafty. He said, like, imagine bumping into you at the kiosk and saying I bumped into Brad when everyone just knows you as the captain. I was like, that's pretty crafty. Shout out to my boy, because no one knows me as the captain. Jaden, when my girl tries to say genuinely but comes out with generally.
Oh my God. Do you know what's funny about that? Similar, but not the same. Whenever I send a text, Callum can back me for this. I'm the worst texter in the world. I just write whatever comes out first and just press send. Yeah. And I always write, instead of definitely, I always write defiantly.
Defiantly, and I'm like,
I don't even know what that means.
It's just,
but I think it's sent now, so do with it what you will.
I don't know why, but it does that to me too, and it really annoys me. I have to change it all the time. John, I like this one. I'm a fan of this one. So John, who's an absolute loyal supporter of the pod, listens to every episode, absolute legend. When people at a cafe or ordering a coffee say espresso, instead of espresso.
I've never even
X.
thought of it.
You've never heard that?
No,
I hear it all the time. Someone goes, "Oh, just an espresso, please."
An espresso.
It's
yeah,
not a
espresso.
It's not a fucking one way to Central.
I panic at the counter though, so whatever I never actually I always accidentally order like a
Something
chai
wrong?
latte, but I never ask for almond milk, and I'm too scared. So then I
Are
just
you
get,
like it?
shits
You're
later.
like dad at a Macca's drive-through. Absolute disaster.
Disaster, literally.
Absolute.
Like I put myself in pain for the rest of the day because I forget to ask for almond milk.
You know what I love? I love when people like old people do it at Macca's.
Mac.
They put Mac in front of everyone. My nan and pop are the worst for
so
it.
Good. Mac,
Dad's so
chicken,
bad.
Mac
It'll be like
fries.
McFries with a McCoke. And I'm like, it's just a Coke.
Macca's Coke is different.
Yeah, it is. It's shit. But it's
As if Macca's Coke is the best Coke.
No, it's not. It's watered down.
no.
It's syrup.
I think that's the best part of it though, because it's I don't like the
Nah.
bubbles in Coke. I like
Give me a
it
fresh
flat.
Coke Zero out of the can.
Nah,
out of
flat.
the can.
I love when you've had the bottle in the
You're
fridge
the only
for a
person
week.
in Australia that likes it.
I know, and I'm weird. I get it. But like flat Coke Zero, but I reckon Coke no sugar, absolute game changer.
Yeah, coconut sugar is the best.
Oh, so
It leaves
good.
you without that like furry, sugary taste in
I
the
don't know
mouth.
what it is, but it's good. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Thanks, John. Sarah says, when people say essentially or basically 5 times in one sentence, that's annoying.
Basically.
It's almost like real basic bitch shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like when you
Where
don't
it's
know what
like,
you're saying. So
Oh,
you just
basically,
keep...
like he was
It's like-
basically saying like.
It's like that meme of that kid, and he's like, and he like doesn't know what
Yeah.
he's talking about.
Well, it's like that kid, the apparently kid.
Yeah.
He's all time. He's such a goat. I love that
Well,
kid.
apparently,
Well, apparently.
I went
and-
down the silver slide.
And apparently, Eli, this is a good one. Shout out to my boy Eli running the Marrow with me. For all intensive purposes, not even the right phrase, and you sound like an absolute lemon.
What is it?
For all intensive purposes.
I've never heard of that.
Have you never heard of that when
No.
someone tries to sound really smart? Yeah. I like how he said you sound like an absolute lemon, so just think about that the next time you feel like spitting
If
that
that's
out.
you, don't do it.
And, there was always going to be one. One of the boys decided to jump in. Joseph Dixon loves a bit of the limelight, loves a shout out on the pod. Don't follow him on socials. He said when people call themselves the fucking captain. Bit of a dig at me there from Joey Dicko. Moving on. Moving on.
Topic 2.
Topic number 3.
3. There you go.
So, this one's a little bit nerve wracking. So, we've decided to
shit. No,
challenge
I
each
didn't
other.
even do anything.
Forgot about this. So we've got to take each other's phone and find a contact and send them a text that would be kind of like really weird. So, and look, here's the thing, right? Please don't tell anyone that you love. I feel like you can't toy with people's hearts with this.
No.
You just got to make them curious. Like, I don't want to be leaving anyone with a like,
You're
I
either
love
texting
you.
my dentist, my doctor, my mum, or my dad. So
Yeah, okay, well,
Have
I can
fun
have
with
plenty of
it.
fun with that. So we're going to take each other's phones and send a little text.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait there.
I
I don't know why I'm nervous.
I'm low-key nervous
I
because
think-
I'm like, this can be a little bit brutal at times.
Okay, here we go.
And the key is you can't reply until the end of the show.
Just don't. I've got like old landlords and stuff in here, so don't fuck around.
I'll be okay.
I like how he puts it on Sissy like I'm going to. Should we do a lucky dip? Should we just like scroll and
Okay.
tap? Maybe that's the best way to do
Yeah,
it.
okay, ready?
But you got to let me screen it first, because if I've got an old landlord on there and you're like...
Yeah, okay, there's one rule. If it's a business client, you're allowed to say no.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Show me. Yeah, cool.
Fuck, that's what we... Just an old schoolmate who I haven't seen for a while.
Okay.
Okay. Fuck, who am I? Who am I texting here? You don't have to say who they are specifically.
I used to work with her.
Okay.
Absolute darling.
Okay.
Can we just like... Oh, shit. I don't want to come across as an asshole either, but I want to make it funny.
You're getting stitched up here, eh? This.
I don't even know what to say because I feel like an absolute bitch. Like, I don't want to be out there too much. I see. This is where I hurt.
You can choose someone else if you like.
Yeah, let me, because
If that's
I
your
feel
issue,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to fuck around with that one.
Okay.
You know why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is so much fun.
Oh, I can't do that one. Your boss.
It'd have to be a stitch up.
Business contact. Fuck, you got so many business contacts on here.
Yeah, I know, because it was my old work phone.
Who the fuck is that?
No idea. That's potential. PB stands for potential buyer.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
What does PV stand for?
PB is potential buyer. PV is
Fucking
potential
hell,
vendor.
how many potential buyers do you
Just
have?
find someone who's not.
I'm trying. Who the fuck's this?
Courier mail.
Oh my god. God, you have the most boring
Media contacts, yeah. You know me, just getting the pot out of the media.
Is
Right,
this
let's
another contact?
He owns the cafe in the hospital and was a client.
Oh, okay.
So,
Bloody hell, you're boring. Pizza shop? Fuck, you're boring.
pizza. Was there actually a pizza shop? Yeah,
Okay,
you're getting good there. Mate of mine. Okay, so I've got something here. This is great. This is okay. A lot of dead silence here. Sorry about that. We're concentrating too much.
Sorry, we're trying not to be assholes, but also trying to be funny.
Okay.
Can I just double check this? You still work with this one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. But like he's heaps chill. So he'd be like, mate of mine, Coop Reed.
Okay, you ready?
Who I think listens
Wait,
to
do
the
we
show.
press send or do we...
Okay, 1, 2, 3, send. Okay, ready? So read what you said.
No, you have to go first.
Okay.
You're older.
Do you want to? I'll tell you what. Let's hand the phones over to each other and we're going to read
Okay.
it because it'll be funny. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. This is a stitch. This is a stitch.
I'm crying.
He's just come back to with haha, thanks bro. Oh, that's so good. I feel like I'm allowed to reply to that now, eh?
Well, we've got to tell everyone what it said first.
So
First of all, shout out to my girl Zena. I used to work with
that's
Zena.
so funny.
And she's the most beautiful soul. And so Brad chose Zena in my contacts and he wrote, see the footy on the weekend? Boys were going off like a flathead on a hot rod. I can't finish. Absolute belter of a bender from those boys incoming low. Anyways, how about this one?
Yeah.
Crazy low. And she wrote, hey Shania, I don't think this was for me, lol. Kiss.
So good.
Oh, Zena, this is exactly why you're such a sweetheart. So kind and just
so
like,
kind,
sorry.
so kind. So mine here is to my mate Cooper Reed, who I worked with at MMJ and just a ledge, funny guy. And hey bro, just want to say how much I really like your bum in your suit pants. So glad I get to walk behind you in the office now. Kiss, kiss. He comes back in capitals. Ha ha ha. Thanks, bro. And I said, podcast stitch up. I'll explain later.
All right,
that's classic. That's very good. That was good fun. Sorry for all the dead silence. I'll probably edit that out and make it a little bit shorter, so you guys didn't have to cop all that bloody, just airtime sitting there in suspense. That was very fun.
It was pretty
That
funny.
was fun. Okay. Topic number 4. I like this. This is going to be some story time.
Go.
So this is the biggest lie you've ever told in a cab or an Uber.
Oh, I don't really have one. I didn't really...
Yes, you do. We spoke about it the other day.
I've just deleted that from my brain.
Yeah, we spoke about this the other day.
Okay.
I want to explain the reason for this topic. We've all been in an Uber or a cab where the first thing you say when you get in is, so, how's the night? Busy?
Night?
Yeah, I'm like... And so a lot of boring shit happens in cabs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why not talk about like some of the funny experiences? I'll kick off.
Yeah, you go first.
So this one's a little bit of a story, right? So sit tight and enjoy this little ride. I was working in real estate. I'd been really busy, working 6 days a week for a long time. This is like a good 2 years ago now. Me and two of my best mates, Dano and Steffi, who were builders and worked 6 days a week, had all planned a trip to go to the Gold Coast mid-year. It was like August, right? So we're escaping the winter for a long weekend. It was like Friday through to Monday. We're just going to have a heap of fun, go out, get dinner, like hang on the beach, just do like best mate shit. And Dano had to cancel because he took a spontaneous 3-week trip to Europe and his boss said, you cannot go. So he had to cancel. So it was just Steffi and I. And so morning of the trip comes. And I remember waking up and having the day off work that Friday, but we weren't flying out till like lunch. And I woke up to like the most horrific wind you've ever heard. And I don't mean flatulence out of my ass. I mean like actual like just fucking gale force winds outside. It was bad. And I was like, that does not sound good. Like, it sounded worrying enough that I was like, the integrity of my flight is at risk here. So I went to coffee with Mum, and I get a text from Dane, who had booked everything, but was now not coming. And he goes, boys, bad news. Just got a text, flight cancelled. And I'm like, oh, shit. I have to book another flight. So I call Steffi, and I go to Steffi, hey, you're going to book another flight. So we booked this flight like 2 hours later. Get another text in like half an hour, flight cancelled. And Steph's like, fuck, what do we do? And I'm like, just find the next flight available today. Because the thing was, we rarely get time off. We're like, it's Friday night. You want to get up there Friday night to enjoy the most of Friday and Saturday night out. And, you know, we want to make the most of this weekend, which we've paid for a hotel. You know, so we've booked it. Steffi goes, hey, booked, sorted. It's actually an hour earlier. We've got to leave early. And I'm like, no worries, man. I'm ready to go. So I leave. I was at coffee with Mum at the time. Leave, get home, get my bag packed. Steffi and his sister, Nat, pull up out the front. Nat's dropping us up to the airport. We drive up and we pulled into Krispy Kreme, not for the donuts, but to take a piss, like a strategic piss before we went into the airport. And I'm like, oh, I better get like my boarding pass ready and add it to my wallet. And as I'm adding it to my wallet, I look at it and I'm like, that says the 9th of August. And I'm like, pretty sure today's the 8th. And I'm like, oh, Steffi, what date does it say on your flight? And he goes, the 9th. And I'm like, bro, today's the 8th. And he's like, fuck off. You're kidding. And I'm like, nah, like, bro, you've booked these for tomorrow. And he's like, oh, fuck. So what we didn't realise is, right, we're like, well, we're here now. Let's just see if we can jag something. So we get into the airport. Every airline, every commercial airline has stopped flying for the day. Wind's too dangerous. It's too much of a risk to go up in the sky. We're not going to get anyone anywhere. The airport's basically shut down. It's dead. I've never seen it so dead in my life. And we're like running around. So we're booked with Jetstar. So we run over to Qantas. We run over to Virgin. We run over to Tiger. We're running everywhere. We're just trying to get a flight. We're like, we want to get out of Sydney tonight. And it was getting to the point where we're like, we've called Nat and we're like, no one can get us on a flight until tomorrow. We're going to have to book Jetstar flights for tomorrow. We were like, does Nat come and get us or do we just book a hotel in the city for the night? We're ready to book a hotel and we're walking past this aircraft carrier. Rex, or it wasn't the carrier, it was like the fucking booth at the front, whatever you call it. And it's Rex Regional. And I'm like, Steffi, let's just go and ask them. He's like, bro, they don't fly to cities. And I'm like, no, but let's just go and ask. It's worth it. We're here. So we go up and I go to the lady, hey, obviously, bit of a debacle today. We really need to get to the Gold Coast. Where's the closest you guys fly? And she's like, I can get you to Lismore. And I searched my phone. Lismore's a 3-hour drive to Gold Coast. And it was like, I can get you into Lismore at 9 o'clock tonight. So we're like, okay, we're going to get to Gold Coast about midnight, right? Didn't know how we're going to get there. Like, book the flight, book 2 tickets. It cost us $500 each.
Jesus Christ.
Right? So it was expensive. And we didn't get refunded for our Jetstar flights either. Right? So we literally, I don't know why either, but we got on this Rex flight. At no point in time did it cross my mind, this is actually still dangerous. I was just like, yes, we outsmarted the system. We get on this flight. We land in Lismore. It's just after 9 and we get out. And the first thing we're like is, okay, how are we getting into the Gold Coast? I walk outside Lismore Airport and we've been to Lismore once in our lives when I was like 11.
That was eventful.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking like, oh, there'll be a bunch of cabs and stuff waiting. There's no cabs. There's nothing to be seen. No cabs, no buses, nothing. Most people are getting picked up by like friends and family. And so I'm like, oh shit. So we call the cab number and they're like, oh, nobody's working tonight. Like it's all, everyone's finished. And I'm like, well, we need to get to the Gold Coast. Like this is a 3-hour trip for someone. She's like, look, it was actually Steffi on the phone. She goes, look, there's one lady who might take it for some cash. And we're like, yeah, sweet. So we called this lady. She gave us a mobile number. We called the lady and I forget her name, but she's on the phone and Steph goes, look, we're desperate to get into the Gold Coast. We have nowhere to stay here tonight. We're going to be stranded if we don't.
I don't repeat this story.
Yeah,
It's so bad.
It's so bad. And she's like, okay, look, I'll come. And Steph's like, we'll pay you cash. Because we're thinking we pay her cash. She makes a little bit extra on the side. She doesn't have to put the meter on, which means it doesn't cost us a fortune. We said to her, we'll give you 200 cash to take us there because we knew that would be cheaper. Yeah. So she rocks up, we get in the car, and the first thing she does is put the meter on. And I'm like, what an absolute bitch. She's fully... And I'm like, cash, and she's like, no, we have to put the meter on. And I'm just like, you bitch. Right, so I'm sitting in the back. We've got no other option though, right? Steffi's in the passenger seat. And Steffi's trying to make her feel bad for the whole meter debacle. Yeah. Now, we're sitting there and she's like, oh, so what's the story? And Steph may have said something on the phone that got her there in the first place.
Oh, this is so bad.
So bad, but necessary.
No.
Steph goes, look, because she was not going to come, and Steph goes, we really need this lift because our auntie Lindy is dying in hospital on the Gold Coast right now.
Oh my God.
And we may not make it in time if we don't get your cab. So she rocks up, right? But then she's still a bitch enough to put the meter on, which is what annoys me. But then Steffi's the most honest bloke on the planet. So Steffi's like... Yeah. So Steffi's like... I think he was trying to make up for the lie by giving extreme and unnecessary detail.
Panic.
So she's like, oh, sorry to hear about your auntie Lindy, boys. And we're like, oh, that's okay. And she goes, oh, so who are you boys to each other? And Steph goes, oh, we're brothers. And I'm like, we look nothing like brothers. Yeah. And he goes, oh, I got the short gene, and we're laughing a bit and a bit of banter. And he goes, he goes, oh, growing up and that, like, used to go fox hunting with Dad. And I'm just like, all of this is so unnecessary. So he's telling us about our childhood, and I'm just sitting in the back trying not to laugh. Like, this is so fucked up. Why are you going into so much detail? You're digging a hole. And she'll go like, oh, did you enjoy that, Brad? And I'm like, yeah. And
you're like the Rain.
Whilst I'm sitting in the back, I'm just the absolute fucking the Rain Man of the crew, sitting in the back, silent, just weird as fuck. And funnily enough, like Rain Man, because I'm sitting there doing the figures on my calculator, watching the meter tick over, and I've worked out on average how much the meter ticks over per minute, and I've factored in how many minutes are left in the trip and how much I think this is going to cost. Jesus. And at this point in time, we're an hour into the trip, and I'm like, this is going to be a $350 cab ride, and I'm like, we just paid $500 for flights. I don't fancy $350 in a cab.
No way.
So I'm texting Steph, and she's like, have you had any updates? And Steph's like, yeah, it's not looking good. I don't know if we'll make it in time.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, Steph, I'm going to shut the fuck up. And then she goes, oh, I'm so sorry to hear, boys. And we're like, yeah. And Steph's like, yeah, Auntie Lindy was a big part of our life growing up until she moved to the Gold Coast, and we just haven't seen her. And the whole family's already here. We're going to come after the working week, and, we had to get here because things have escalated. And I'm like, fuck. So I text Steph at this point, and I'm like, firstly, shut the fuck up. Secondly, dude, this is going to cost us $350. We need to find a way to get out of this cab. Yeah. Pay her what she's done so far. Yeah. And fucking find another way to get in the city. So I worked out that, I was like, I'm pretty sure that we get an Uber, within an hour and 45 minutes drive from the Gold Coast. Yeah. So I was pretty confident of that because I thought, being a Friday night, there'll be someone looking to get in the city late to go to the casino or something, right? Yeah. So I jumped on Google Maps, found a neighbouring suburb, and I was like, oi, Steph, Scotty and Ashton just sent us a message.
Scotty and Ashton, what names?
I don't know where. Well, it might have been Scotty and someone from Ashton, which is like a suburb outside. I think that was it.
Of those names
and I'm like, Scotty's just messaged. The boys are actually just gotten back from work and they're going to give us a lift in. I was like, can you drop us in Ashton? And she's like, it was somewhere like that. And she's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. That's going to be so good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then so we literally pulled up, and she drops us off at this random street in the middle of fucking outskirts of Gold Coast. Yeah. And Steffi's like, so what's the plan? And I'm like, well, I've got 1% on my phone.
Oh my God.
Next minute it died. And I'm like, do you have any? And he's like, I've got like 3%. And I'm like, dude, you need to book an Uber right now. Steffi manages to find this Uber driver. There was no one. He manages to find this Uber driver who's got a Czech background and Steffi's Czech.
Yeah.
So he like sends him a message in Czech or in Slovakian, whatever it was. And this guy comes, picks us up, takes us in the city. It ends up costing us only like another $50 in that. So we come out of it like for $250 instead of $350. We save like $100. Get into the city at 12 o'clock and we check into the hotel. We get out for a schnitzel at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah, essential.
And we're starving at this point. And we walk straight into this club, which was a little bit... How you going? It's not my cup of tea. Called Sin City. The reason we walked in was I was walking down the street and from The Hangover. How about that ride in? I guess that's why they call it Sin City. We walk in. First thing we do is we walk in and we look to the right and there's a bunch of guys from Wollongong like, hey! And they're like, oh, we flew in this morning. And I'm like, fuck, that's a real kick in the gut. So yeah, that was my cab and Uber story.
So that was a long-winded cab story. But funny, oh my God. I feel that was really bad. Like, bad but funny.
I think she actually texted us, by the way, really? Later that night to ask how she was.
God, you just throw your number away, didn't you?
Not good.
God, that's bad. You guys would have had to get some brownie points back.
Yeah, that was...
Out.
Yeah. That was bad vibes.
Mine, bit different. So as per the last episode, I don't really drink. And Cal and I both like country music. And so I was like, best girlfriend. I bought him Luke Combs tickets. I was still flying at this time too. So I'd been working all week and I said to Cal, meet me at the airport on, I think it was like Thursday night. I was like, meet me at the airport Thursday night. We'll go from there. I've booked a hotel close by. And then we'll go to the concert, come back, and then it's close enough so that I can just literally walk down to work the next day. And we're so excited. We've been looking forward to it for like months at this time. Like it was ages. Like I got like pre-tickets or whatever they're called. And Cal, I guess he takes advantage of when I get a little bit happy on the piss because I'm quite fun when I'm on the piss, but I'm also like a lightweight as well. So like never used to be, but like when I drink, I am now.
And it's so rare that you are on the piss.
Literally. And so Cal thought it was great because like we're at our hotel, we're at happy hour. It's like overlooking the beautiful like airport city. It was so nice. And he just keeps bringing me these like Pinot Grigios. And I was like, oh, this is yum. Like I'm just going to keep downing these. Yeah. It wasn't until we were like at the concert that I was like, holy heck, I am literally I am blind. And Cal, I still remember Cal said to me, he goes, is the concert spinning? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, it just went downhill from there. And so without going into too much detail, I was a little bit unwell. Hold
on. Is there a story where Cal had to send in a certain search party to find you in the toilets at the stadium?
I didn't actually... I heard the concert, but I didn't get to see the concert. Yeah. And so I was really, really sick in the toilet. Like, I was just way too much alcohol in my system. Yeah. And so he sent in a beautiful lady to come and get me at a country music concert. Like, everyone's so lovely.
Just gentle souls.
That she was like, Shania. And I was like, me. Like, feel sorry for myself. We get an Uber and Cal was like, you have to be good in the Uber. Like, you can't be sick because we've got to get back to the hotel. Otherwise, we can't get back. Yeah. And I was like, I'm fine. I feel good now. We're sitting in the back. Cal is not a small talker either. He's trying to create like this small talk with the Uber driver. And he goes, did she just vomit, mate? And Cal's like, no, she just burped. So you vomited all over the back seat? All over me. So Cal had this really nice, like, I think it was like an R.M. Williams vest, the whole thing. And I'm just sitting in it, like, laughing to myself because I thought it was bloody hilarious. Like, Cal's trying to lie.
Yeah, just pissed as a nit.
Literally pissed as a nit. Great. And so I was just like, the night from hell, but I still remember, like, I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, it's on my Uber account as well. I'm the one that's going to have to wear this bill. But we're pretty lucky. Didn't get in the Uber. So I reckon the most iconic photo of you of all time is you with the sheets up around your neck This was the same night.
A bucket next to you on the pillow.
Yeah.
And a wet rag on top of your head. So good.
I'm a hopeless
When Cal
drunk.
sent me that, I was like, that's fucking iconic. So you've never really lived that down, have you?
No, and that's why I don't really do alcohol.
Fair call. There's other stories, but we will leave them for another day.
Leave them for a rainy day.
That's biggest cab and Uber lies. Big Cab Liar, we'll call that.
Big Cab Liar.
Little parody of Big Fat Lie, the movie that we both loved when we were 6. Okay, I like this one. Scams of the modern age, and which one your boomer relatives are most likely to fall for. So I feel like everyone's got a creepy uncle. Fuck, you're really aggressive on that mic, aren't you?
I know, it's just in front of me.
I feel like everyone's got a creepy uncle that... We don't have a creepy uncle, but I feel like a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah.
Where they've got that creepy, like, old relative or uncle that falls for the hot Russian chicks that add people on Facebook that are actually just robots. You know those?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I get like 10 of them a day, 10 friend requests, and they're just like a bot. And it's like you click on, it's like sexy pictures at this link or whatever.
I get lots
like
of
that.
those on Instagram.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel like someone would be silly enough to fall for that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
older dude, like, oh, like this hot chick, like, wants me to give her the life that she deserves in Australia.
Yeah.
That. The other one is like, at the moment, the texts that are going around, like shipping.
Oh, yeah, the DHL ones.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day I get 2 or 3 of those messages.
Yeah.
I'm like, if that was nanopop, they're 100% falling.
Do you know
for
what's
that.
funny? I'm going to dob mum in on one. I remember mum called me, she's like, they've called me and they're saying about a search warrant arrest.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, she has fallen for it.
Yeah, proper stitch up, the ATO ones.
Yeah.
Like, you've avoided tax, pay a fine. You're like, I swear I didn't.
Yeah, and it's like, there's a search warrant out for you, out for your arrest.
The Amazon ones, the voicemail.
And do you know what? I feel so bad because all these oldies actually would be falling for them. Like, think about how many oldies have, like, iPhones now with these QR codes. Yeah, and they're getting these texts and stuff and they think, oh, maybe it's a parcel for me. And
so we had a pretty funny one, right, that happened to our Auntie Debbie a couple of years ago, and it's like she's never lived it down since. She was selling a bunch of furniture on Gumtree, and this lady named Kathy Smith, seems like a relatively good Aussie lady, right? Sends her a message, hey, I love this stuff that you've got. I'd love for you to, I'd love to get it, but unfortunately I work on she works on like a international ship, like out at sea. I need to send this to my property. Can I have your account details? And I was like, I was basically like, well, if you give her your account details to pay, like it's not a problem. Like you can give anyone your BSB and account number and like they can only send you money. Like what's the worst that can happen? They send you too much money and you're like, fuck, like big scam.
Yeah.
But then what it then comes into is like once they've got that, then they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I need to organise shipping. Can I pay you extra money but you pay for this shipping at this link? And it's like a scam.
Yeah.
And she'd already given across a BSB and account number and then I'm like, oh, we should probably just search this. It sounds sus.
Yeah.
And then there's like Gumtree's like Google search results and it's like Gumtree scam, Kathy Smith. And she's like, oh my God, they've got my BSB and account number. They're going to take everything. What the fuck? Like, you told me to give them the... And I was just like, settle down. They can't do anything. And she was panicking. She called her bank manager at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh.
And I'm like, she's never lived that down. Every time she sells something on Gumtree, I'm like, Kathy Smith?
It's one of those things, though, that, like, unless you're in the know with, like, these scams and stuff, you don't know.
No, you don't know.
And at the time, she didn't have any social media either, so she wouldn't have really known...
Yeah. The other one is, this is the one that I hate more than anything in the world. We spoke about DMs earlier, creepy DMs.
Yeah.
This one's annoying DMs.
Oh, yes.
Everyone gets a DM from a Forex trader. And it's, you know, like
I don't.
Forex currency, really?
No, I get different
I always
ones.
do, and it's always the same DM.
Yeah.
And you click on their profile and you can see that they're trying to make money out of you.
Yeah.
But they literally say, hello. They all say hello with a wave hand. How are you today? I'm like, you don't give a fuck how I am. You're just waiting to tell me about Forex. Please shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's so annoying. And I'm like, surely if you're trying to get people, there's got to be some originality.
Yeah, 100%.
Or just like some upfront honesty. Like when I can see your name and it says Forex.
Yeah.
With a little rocket as if it's like everything you do is fucking outstanding. I'm like, just add some personality in there.
I love the ones and it's like, we're looking for ambassadors.
Oh,
Make sure
it's
you
like
mention my name.
DM Salvatore or something like that.
Oh,
or
there's
like,
so many, and they're like,
so many.
but make sure you don't reply to this message. Make sure you send a message to the real page, and the real page is like got like 300 followers and just like random ass photos.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
I reckon I get at least 2 of them a day.
Yeah.
But regular basis.
Yeah.
So frustrating, and it's annoying too because now I'm juggling like the business page as well, which has done really well. It's frustrating because like you're constantly like trying to get back to people, and then you're like, oh, just these assholes again.
Fuck this stuff out of my request.
Yeah.
You had a topic you want to add to the framework of today's ep?
So we thought we would kind of what pisses you off things that piss you off, I should say. Things that piss you off that your partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, does.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't really participate in this, but I'm along for the ride.
I actually forgot about that when I put this topic up.
Fair call.
Cal actually recommended that we have this topic because there's things that piss him off.
Okay.
And whatnot.
It's a way for him basically to
pretty
throw
much,
you on
exactly. So I'll share some of his responses. So Cal said he hates the way that I leave a trail of like shoes and clothes in the house. Like I kind of just like leave my shoes and clothes, but I always pick them up at my own schedule.
Yeah.
Like I just don't do it straight away. And I always have like a million outfits before I get dressed. So he said that. He also said that I just like leave dishes in my on my desk because I've been juggling so much with my little business. I just leave like coffee mugs, cereal bowls, whatever it is, leave that shit around. So that was that. I said the things that piss me off the most about him. Firstly, he drives like a nana, yet he just got a massive speeding fine because he was like completely tuned out listening to a podcast. And it is such a Callum personality thing to do because Cal is so chill and so zoned out all the time, like just like chilled listening to a pod. Gets this just huge speeding fine, and I'm like, but he gets pissed off when I'm in the car with him, and I'll be like, speed camera, cops are there.
Yeah,
and he gets pissed off.
Backseat driver.
And I'm like, this is why I'm there. So that's probably my biggest one. Anyway, let's share some of these. I did say they were anonymous, so I won't say names, just in case if anyone's...
Yeah, fair call. Let's not end any relationships.
Okay, so we've got one. Watching videos out loud. 100% agree. It doesn't even need to be a spouse or a partner. A friend that watches a video out loud. You in particular, Brad?
No. But I don't think that's an issue, right? I'm going to disagree with this person here. I think it's an issue when they watch it out loud when everyone else is watching something on the TV.
Yeah, that's what she means.
Like, it's situational.
Yeah, no, that's what she means. We've got one that says, oh, this is classic, shaves his beard or head without rinsing the sink just after I've cleaned the whole bathroom. Yeah. Oh my God, if you're a clean freak like I am, you'll understand this. So frustrating, but... It's like, as a boy's brain, I'm not saying it's boys in general, but just majority.
I have very little beard or moustache to shave, so I feel like it's less of an issue for me.
So frustrating though, because it's so hard to clean as well. Like the little hairs get stuck on everything. Yeah. This is funny as this is about our cousin. So Ben, watch out. Itches his feet on me. Oh, yuck.
Yuck, Ben.
Yeah, that is grub material.
Sort your shit out, Benny.
Someone's got sleeps in a V with his bum on my side, but his arms and legs touching the edge. I'm guilty of this. Yeah. Callum gets the shits because I sleep in like a weird angle, so he doesn't get any bed. I'm sorry. Says sorry a million times when he doesn't do anything. Also guilty.
Yeah, that's a bit of a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
think that's when you're a lovely person.
It is. Like, you're almost too nice.
Nice.
And I'm kind of like this. Sometimes I apologise for stuff and I'm like, what the fuck am I apologising for?
Like, you'll be walking on the footpath and someone's not moving and then you're moving, but, oh, sorry. It's like, well, fuck no. You should move. You don't be the arsehole
let's fucking both contribute to this situation.
Exactly. Keep to the left. Anyway, ran
over.
Someone's got a funny one here. After 23 years, the list of things that don't piss me off is a lot shorter. I love that. Yeah. The trail of dirty clothes. Yep, I know that. Here we go. The clothes that are too clean for the wash, but too dirty for the wardrobe.
Yes.
We love
Everyone's got that pile. For me, that's shorts.
Oh, I reckon...
Like, if I'm just chilling in a pair of shorts...
Mine's hoodies.
Yes, jumpers.
Yes.
Shorts and jumpers. I feel like t-shirts are always... You can't really rock a t-shirt twice.
Nah, that's
the only
gross.
time I rock a t-shirt twice is like morning I've been in a tee. I haven't done anything at all, and then I'm like, I'm going to train in it later or something like that. And I'm like, and it's going to be sweaty, so I'll just wear that.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if that's weird or gross or...
Sort of gross.
Yeah.
Always sides with the family instead of me.
Yeah.
That's when you know you got a good one.
Yeah.
Takes the bin out but doesn't replace the bag. Annoying. So annoying. Oh my God.
It was fucking one of yours.
Exactly. It's like you go to put something in the bin and half the time it's like something like sloppy as well.
Yeah.
And then you realise there's no bin bag but you've committed and you're like...
Or like eggshells.
Fuck.
That's the annoying one,
And your hands are dirty, you don't want to touch anything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. This is also about our cousin, a different cousin.
Okay.
And it must just run in the family because it's got about the pile of socks and shoes in doorways.
Okay.
Yep. Guilty. Farts and pretends it wasn't him. Blames it on the dogs more like it.
Yeah.
Tickles me when I try and focus. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a nice tickle.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No tickles.
Like just the annoying, like I'm going to be irritating right now.
Yeah, that's irritating for sure. So she does the worst fart right next to me. Then right before I smell it, she goes, "Oops, I farted." I love that. It's like,
just let him know too late.
Yeah, see how long I can get away with this for, and then like, oh shit, he can smell it.
Yeah. Because I feel like if you dealt it, you always smell it first.
And I don't know if because it's the same person, I don't know if they've said like, great, now we're arguing after they've put this response, or is like when they say like, great, now we're arguing. Yeah. Cal and I always say that and we go 3, 2, 1, I'm sorry. Okay. Because we're both so stubborn. So
yeah, I like that. Yeah. Good teamwork.
That's pretty funny. I won't share all of them because there's a few more there. But we'll move on.
But that's basically the pod this week. We're going to wrap it up with, we said we're going to give a shout out to a small business.
Yeah.
I'm eager to wrap this up because the memory card was a little bit full before we started this, so we're approaching that.
Have you got a small biz?
Yes, but you go first.
Okay, I'm going to shout out my girl. I've got a few, but I'm going to do one each week.
Yep.
Cloudy, virtual assistant. That is my girl, Hannah. Hannah has created her own virtual assistant business. She does a whole heap of bookkeeping, admin, particularly works with tradies, some beauty salons, hair salons, etc. But just an absolute gem and just has the brain and the knowledge for it. Just gives you that time. So if you're a tradie in particular, keeps you out of the shit you don't like doing. She deals with it and she just knows what she's doing. So
amazing. So what's the socials again?
So her socials are Cloudy, and we'll link it below, I'm assuming. Yeah, cool. No, and Hannah's beautiful as well. Very easy to talk to, knowledgeable.
Amazing.
Just gets business.
My one is one of my best mates and absolute legend, incredibly supportive of everything I do. Actually a podcast guest in past. He's the founder of a company called Goon A, which is basically Goon cask wine, and he's doing incredible things with that. I'm always marvel at his ability to learn on the go and his ability as an entrepreneur and what he's learned, the knowledge he has, which is all through practicality and experience, and much kind of like I have done, walked away from his job as an engineer to pursue this. So I think incredible story, shows that he's really passionate about building a business. So go check out goona.wine on socials, and if you love a few cheap drinks that taste great, then get around it.
Awesome. It's nice to share.
Well, that's us today. Thank you so much for tuning into episode 2 of Bradles and Sissy. Basically looking to run these sort of segments every week and have a whole heap of fun with it. Send in things you'd like to hear, what you loved, what you hated about today's episode, and make sure you follow us on socials, subscribe to the channel, share it around with your friends and family. Any wise words to finish?
No, I don't have any. You can't put me on the spot like that.
Just be careful. It's a jungle out there.
See yous.